So I thought it was important to recognize that these three exciting choreographers were coming to Leeds to make their new work. The ballet tours all over the UK. These three choreographers are telling stories that are very, very different from each other, and yet they're all talking about the human emotion, the human condition.
My name is Mthuthuzeli November. I am from South Africa. I was born in Cape Town, but I grew up in a very small town in Ashton called Zolani. Whalers is a piece that it feels like it touches on a lot of human things, and I think for me, in its core, it really is a piece that celebrates life. I grew up, I have three brothers and one sister. My sister is the oldest. And ever since I was young, she's always lived outside the house. So it was always just me and my brothers and my mom. And I remember always having to ask myself, like, what's for lunch? What's for dinner? What's for breakfast? You know, we were living in a sort of what's next kind of situation. And I think witnessing that, or witnessing my mother having to go through that, has made me appreciate where I am now. And I remember in the piece that we have this wall that kind of resembles a space that offered me comfort, offered my family comfort, offered my community comfort. So in my house there used to be a little, we call it a stoop. It's like a concrete little like long bench that kind of helped the foundation of the house so it doesn't fall apart. And we didn't have a fence around the house. So people always used to sit in this bench outside my house. And I remember my mom always used to say, she always knew who was dating who based on the things we would hear outside. You know, sometimes we wake up in the morning and there's like people put their drawings of like, so-and-so love this forever. You know, like, so people would like write messages on the little bench, and I think it became a well-known place in my community. Like it had like a name. Like if you ask somebody where they are, they'll be like, oh, you know, like it was known as the stoop. And so I think when I think back in those moments, that I didn't have the time to process my hardship because I had this space that made me feel comfortable. I had the community that used to share the space with me.
Mamvulane uludonga lomthandazo kum. Loyama ngawe. Ntsika yasezwedala xa kugevuzela amadolo ndixhathisa ngawe.
I've heard of Casanova, but I never really looked into his story. But with everything that I looked online, or the films that I saw, were all about him being a womanizer, or someone that would go off with women and have orgies or sex with different people. And that's what was always put out.
Like, you know, the story of Casanova is almost a little bit unreal in a way. Like, it's become this I don't know, this thing. And I guess part of what we're interested in is the humanness of him, you know.
Yeah.
Like, was Dickson saying what he was afraid of, why he did what he did, and his relationships. And I think that's what we're really trying to find in the work and also bring to the dancers in terms of their performance of it as well, like their own humanness, how they can relate to it with their own fears and their own ideas of judgment and perceptions and stuff.
Well, the stage film is a loose adaptation of the film. The reason I say that, it's more like a development of the film. Well, the reason I say that because there's some visual aspects from the film which we thought was really interesting. We wanted to bring to the stage version, and some things practically we can't do because there's no stop-start, and then so in that sense, yes. But in terms of the relationship between Casanova and the church, so this is the sort of things that we decided to, from that story, get inspiration from the film and the story of Casanova to make this live piece.
I guess what's changed for us, and for me anyway, is just how we communicate and how we give information to them and how we help them do what we do. And also, we've taken inspiration from them as well. We're trying to, Dickson always goes to them and goes, "Oh, what are you guys good at?" Or says, what are you good at? And just trying to bring some of that out in their context, in their ballet context, and then just see how that affects what we're making as well, how we can use it.
I'm Stina Quagebeur. I'm a dancer and associate choreographer with English National Ballet. My piece is called Nostalgia, and it's really trying to capture that bittersweet feeling, that kind of feeling of longing, of that kind of piercing joy from an old memory. And I think when we're not in a good place in our life, whether that's maybe the end of a relationship, a marriage, or even people that are having to flee their home country, there is an acute awareness of passing time. And I think going back to these like joyous memories makes us connect back with the people that we experience that with. So it's really also a sense about finding a connection again with people that we might have lost over time. So it's really a journey of, I think, memories and emotions. So it doesn't really have a linear story, but it's really about trying to explain a feeling that is sometimes so hard to explain in words. Working with Northern Ballet has been such a great experience for me. I first came in April and we had 2 weeks to create some material, to create a vocabulary of movement that I think sits well with them and me, and to really get to know them, to see what suits them. And we were playing with different themes on the idea of nostalgia. So it was really kind of call it playtime, call it research and development. And then I have some time to go away and think about it and see how I can kind of structure the whole piece. So then when I've come back recently, it's much more about kind of getting a giant puzzle together, getting everything in the right place and developing sections further, kind of filling in gaps and to kind of, get the whole overarch of the piece together. And they've been brilliant to work with. I think they're very creative, they're really open. They've been used to working with a lot of choreographers as well, so it's been an absolute pleasure, yeah. I think I'm most excited for the audience to go on a journey with the dancers, for them to feel something that resonates with their own lives. I think it might be different for every audience member. So I think for them to follow an arc of an emotion and to kind of find maybe their own memories within it.
And this is my first few months with the company, and I just feel so fortunate to be part of this company and so grateful to be within this amazing group of artists and creatives. So I want to say thank you.
Cool. Anyone else got any more questions?
Anything else you'd like to say?
I think that's it.